Man, that was such a great movie. Thanks for treating me today. Yeah, I really like that part too. We haven't been able to do this in a long time. Remember, before the pandemic? We used to go to movies together all the time. It's nice to be able to do that again. Yeah, of course I liked going with you, dummy. I like seeing you start to tear up during emotional parts and then try to play it off. No, there's just something in my eye. Yeah, you sure had a lot of somethings in your eye during this one. Oh, keep trying your excuses. I know you're just a big softy under that stoic exterior. And you're always soft when it comes to me. Oh no, I didn't say anything. Just that I can't wait to get back to your place and eat. You said you have leftover lasagna, right? You know I love your lasagna. Yeah, you're a great cook. No, seriously. That stroganoff you made for my birthday was to die for. And the one you'll be making this year will be just as good, if not better, right? Oh, thanks for letting me stay at your place this weekend. Yeah, it's nice to get away from everything back home for a bit. You know, the usual. My dad barely looks at me, and Mom is just trying not to judge too hard in front of me. I know they don't agree with my lifestyle, but they could at least act like they care about me. Especially Dad. You know, ever since I started dressing like this back in high school, I think he's spoken to me only a handful of times. Mom tries, but I can see the disgust in her eyes when she looks at me. But at least that's better than the outright contempt I get out in public back home. I can't wait to move out of that goddamn town. You're the only person in there that treats me like a human being. Hey, I've got some things I want to tell you about if you don't mind. Okay. I've got a lot to get off my chest, so just listen for now, okay? Okay. Oh man, where do I even start? I'll just start from the beginning. Yeah, back when we were kids, I guess. We've been friends since what, 6, 7 years old? You were my first friend, and we spent nearly every day together. We would go out and play all day after school. We'd stay up all night playing games, and sleep over at each other's houses every weekend. We'd sleep in the same bed together, and you'd always pull me close and hug me. I think that's when it started. Oh, don't worry about that. We'll get there. So anyway, fast forward a bit to our first year of high school. By this point, I had made a couple of friends thanks to you. And hanging out with them was always fun and all, but you were the only one I really wanted to be around. And then I started feeling, I don't know, different. I didn't feel comfortable. The clothes I wore, the way I had my hair, it all just felt wrong. So one day I went into my parents' room while they were gone and put on one of Mom's dresses. I looked at myself in the mirror, wearing it, and it just felt right. It looked good on me, especially since my body never really developed more muscularly like yours and the other guys did. I took my hair and tied it back in a loose ponytail. And it felt good. It looked good. And looking at myself like that in the mirror, I felt comfortable. So that weekend, I took the allowance money I'd been saving and went and bought a bunch of girl clothes. And, well, you know how that went. The next day, I came to school wearing something close to what I'm wearing right now. My hair pulled into a ponytail, a skirt cut off at the knees, and a pair of thigh highs. I felt comfortable and like I was finally who I was meant to be. But then the laughter started, the hurtful comments. That whole first day, I was ridiculed by everyone I considered a friend. Everyone but you, of course. You came up to me at my locker while everyone was jeering and snickering. You came and treated me like normal. I was dumbfounded for a minute. And then I saw the look in your eyes and how angry you were. For a moment, I thought it was because of me. Then I realized you were mad on my behalf. I placed a hand on your shoulder and gripped you tightly. You unballed your fist and looked me in the eyes. They were nearly welling up with tears. And then I asked you, "How do I look?" And you stopped. And you took a good look at me. Then with a light chuckle you said, "Like my best friend." I was so happy. I was able to get through the rest of the day thanks to you. And you waited for me after school to walk me home, like usual. Only, I didn't show up around the usual time. A couple of guys held me up in the bathroom. They called me such horrible things. Told me I was disgusting. And I shouldn't be allowed into the men's room. I tried to just ignore them and leave, but they kept pushing me back in, continuing to insult me. Then one of them told the others to pin me against the wall as he cracked his knuckles. He told me that people like me weren't allowed in this town. And just before he could start, you showed up. The second you walked in, they let me go. You simply walked up, grabbed my hand, and walked me right out of there. We went all the way back to my house, you holding my hand the whole way. And when we got there, I froze. I remembered that my parents didn't know about my outfit yet. You offered to come in with me, to maybe soften whatever they were going to say, but I declined. I haven't told you before, but there is a reason I was absent from school the rest of that week. My dad, when he saw me, he walked right up to me and slapped me. Hard. It left a big red mark that lasted for a few days. I think he immediately regretted it, but he's never apologized and mostly just ignores my presence. And my mom was so confused, but was also scared of how Dad was acting. She tried to be comforting, and for a little, I thought she could understand me. But one day, I overheard her on the phone with one of her church friends, bad-mouthing me. I felt so alone. Everyone I trusted had turned against me. All because I was doing what made me feel like me. Everyone but you. You were so validating to me. You understood me and tried your best to protect me from the bullying. All the way through graduation, you were the only person I could confide in, that I could trust. And the whole time, I thought we would go through college together too. But you got that scholarship for university in the city. I was going to move out there once the semester started. I was going to be left in that town, totally alone. But I didn't say anything. I was so happy for you, and I couldn't let my feelings get in the way of your future. But then it happened. The goddamn pandemic. It ruined both our plans for college. Oh, we're here. Let's continue inside, yeah? Should we eat first, or do you want me to keep going? Okay, I'll continue then. Let's see. Oh, it's time for something else I never told you. A few weeks into quarantine, I was in a bad place, to say the least. Being stuck with my parents, who barely acknowledged me. I was so utterly alone. Then came that night. My parents were gone for the night. I sat in the dark on my bed. And in my hand, I was holding my dad's gun. I stared at it for what felt like hours, going over it again and again in my head, thinking that no one was going to miss me, about how it would be better for everyone if I was just gone. And just as I started to move the barrel right into my mouth, my phone went off. It was a text from you. The second I read your message, I burst into tears. How could I have forgotten? How could I be so stupid to not think of the one person in my life that actually cared about me? The one person who made my life worth living. Once I calmed down, I put the gun back and went straight to the park. When I saw you there, sitting on the swings, God, I almost burst into tears again. But I kept composed and came over. And the way you smiled when you saw me, and you hugged me after not seeing me for so many weeks, I knew right then how I felt. And I think you know what I mean. I've felt this way ever since we were kids. I just didn't know what it was back then. And it developed so much more throughout our lives together, and I just didn't know what it was. But right in that moment, wrapped tightly in your arms, I realized what it was. I'm in love with you. And I don't even know if you like guys at all, but I know the way you treat me is special from how you treat everybody else. Even when you've had partners in the past, you always seem to put me before them. But you don't have to say anything. I don't want to ruin our friendship or scare you off. Just whenever you feel you can answer me, please let me know. Otherwise, let's just keep things as they are, okay? Oh. No, it's fine. I feel so safe in your arms. Though I must admit, I feel horrible for being so dependent on you. I've always seen you as my Atlas. Without you, my life would have fallen to pieces. I'm so grateful to you, you know? Oh, you have an answer? Okay. Hit me. Mm, mm, mm. Oh, does this mean? I'll take that as a yes. I have one more thing I want to ask of you. Would you be okay with me moving in here with you? I can't stay in that town anymore, and I haven't started college yet, so I could just go to yours in this city. And then I can get a job to help out with bills and whatnot. Yeah? Really? Thank you. Truly. So, what now? Yeah. Let's have that lasagna.